Jonathan Swift is no doubt the father of satire in the English literature. He was born in Ireland. Actually, his family was from Dublin, although his mother left him and moved to London, leaving him alone. Probably this is one of the reasons why he later became a misanthrope and had such a difficult relationship with other people. He prefers living his life alone. This is what we will find in the end of Gulliver's Travels, when the protagonist prefers living alone in a stable with his horses rather than with his family. So probably he was let down by his mother, who left him, and so he became so bitter. Anyway, he studied at Trinity College and finally moved to London, where he became an Anglican priest. But he got into trouble because his heterodox views caused him to be expelled from this religious community. But he also took part, and he took an active part in the political discussion. He took part in the English politics as a diplomat, and this is when he started his literary career. First, he wrote The Battle of the Books, which is a satirical epic poem in which he discussed the alleged superiority of classical culture. Actually, he didn't agree with this idea of classical culture being superior to modern philosophy. And actually, he was all in favor of modern philosophy and especially Enlightenment. Then he wrote a satirical pamphlet, A Modest Proposal. The theme of this pamphlet is poverty and famine in Ireland. Actually, he poked fun at the so-called projectors, who were professional people who were supposed to give English politicians the best solutions for social and economic problems in the United Kingdom. What he did was poking fun at the projectors. He himself made his modest proposal. He suggested that famine in Ireland could be solved using 3/4 of the Irish children as food for the English. This is obviously an absurd solution, but this is what satire is about, making fun, poking fun at real situations in order that the reader can understand how absurd the reality around him is. But by far the best known masterpiece by Jonathan Swift is Gulliver's Travels. We can have a look at his very name, Gulliver. Gulliver may be interpreted as deriving from the adjective gullible, which means someone who can be easily convinced of false things, a naive person, a gullible person, or a seagull, that is someone who has a passion for traveling, just like seagulls do. They travel all the time, and so does Lemuel Gulliver. He visits possible different words, other words, different from the English country, the English word, the European word. This is the first time that a novelist experiments the possibility of different points of view. Gulliver is always out of proportion, so he is forced to look at reality from another point of view, a different point of view. He is too big on the island of the Lilliputians, who in fact call him Big Man Mountain. He is too small when he visits the Giant's Island. But what we can see is that in this comparison, being too big or too small, Swift pokes fun at the English attitude of feeling superior to any other people and any other culture. In fact, when Gulliver confronts the king of the Lilliputians or the emperor of the giants, first he is the spectator of the king of Lilliput's pride. The king of the Lilliputians is very proud of his military force, his military power, although he is too small, so he may sound pathetic if confronted with such a big man as Gulliver. On the other hand, when he talks to the giant's emperor, he himself commits the same mistake of being too proud. He is too proud of himself, of England, although he is confronting such a huge man belonging to a superior culture and civilization. In fact, when the king of the giants asks him about the society Gulliver comes from, he tells him about the way they choose their politicians, and the king of the giants, the emperor of the giants, just tells him that on his island they are simply the best, not those who get the most votes. Very interesting is the visit on the Isle of Laputa, where Gulliver meets the rationalists belonging to the Academy of Lagado. This is obviously a mockery of the rational and rationalistic philosophy. All these people are involved in weird experiments, such as extracting the sunlight from cucumbers, or turning excrements into food. These are weird experiments, typical of rationalists who do not have a contact with reality, and neither do those who live on the island of Balnibarbi. This is an island useful to make a mockery of the Royal Society of the English and European scientists. All these people are not in contact with reality. They are so fond of their theories that they forget about observing real life. But Gulliver also confronts the spirits of historical figures who reveal themselves in their simplicity. So we find once again the theme of the opposition, ancient times, modern times. Gulliver wants to demonstrate that ancient times were no better than the actual time, than now. And in fact, these historical figures belonging to the past reveal their simplicity, their virtues, but also their vices. Finally, Gulliver lands on the island of the rational horses, called Oinums. This strange name, which is even difficult to be written, indicates that these horses have a totally different language from those we are used to. And we will find out that they are so different from humans. They do not even have the words to call, to define what is worst in man. All those vices, such as hate, such as envy, are not known to these horses. They do not even have the words to call these bad aspects of a man's personality. On the island, the rational horses live and rule over a different species, the species of the savage yahoos. They are very similar to humans. In fact, they walk on 2 legs instead of 4, like humans do. They are slave to uncontrollable instincts, unlike the rational horses, who are rational, who can control and dominate their instincts. And finally, they are unable to speak and think properly. Gulliver is very embarrassed because he knows that he is similar to the yahoos, but he starts to like the rational horses so much that he asks them to be hosted on the island. He wants to become a citizen of this special and perfect island. We might define this island as a utopia, that is a perfect place which very probably does not exist in true reality. That is what a utopia is about. A special, a perfect place which can never be found. Basically, Gulliver tries to disguise himself. He tries to hide his human nature, his Yahoo nature. And he is judged by a pool of judges who deny him the right to become a citizen on the island of the rational horses, because they think that someday his Yahoo nature, sooner or later, will emerge and he will no more be accepted on the island. So he is asked to leave. Very unwillingly, he has to leave the island. A Portuguese sailor rescues him, and he is a very decent and gentle guy. So at first, Gulliver somehow is less unhappy than before, because he meets this special, this gentle guy. But as soon as he comes home and he finds his family, the very first day that they sit together to have lunch, he can smell Yahoo everywhere. The smell of a Yahoo annoys him so much that he prefers to move to a stable, to go on living with the horses, because from now on, he is no longer able to live among humans. Now he hates humans. He prefers animals. And this is somehow connected to a kind of misanthropy Jonathan Swift was accused of. Swift has always been regarded as a misanthrope. So very probably this is autobiographical. The fact that Gulliver doesn't like being with humans can be seen as a biographical feature of the novel.